Hi everyone, in this video I want to run through some of the features of the SplatMix shader up on the Unity store. Right, I have a new scene here, so we'll create a quad. Let's reset its values and we'll scale it up about 30. Right, we will create a material. And we'll assign it to the quad and we'll change it to the Brinderi Tech SplatMix. Okay, we'll be using the alpha cutout from the image and we're applying an image to it and let's adjust the cutout. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to set the tiling of the shader. So if we have a look at the texture, you can see this is the texture we're using, and it's basically a 2x2. So what we need to do is we need to tell the shader that it is a 2x2. So it's 2 across, 2 down, and we're increase the density. So if we put that right up to 1 at the moment, you can see it's just put that on there. So if we scale that down, okay, now you can see the alpha cutout is just slightly, just increase the alpha cutout to get rid of that black line. Okay, now with the scaling, let me show you. If we use that right up to 1, you can see it's pretty much on a grid. Okay, so what happens if we bring the scaling down slightly? They're randomly created at smaller sizes, but you also notice that as they become smaller, they're also offset within that quad to give it some sort of randomness. So you can bring those down to increase that more randomness. And if you then wanted to scale them up slightly, you can then obviously increase the scale using the max scale. Another way of creating more randomness is to remove the density, so you can actually just have a few in there. You also have your low and high tint, so we can give them a little bit of a tint and it randomly tint them. Okay, also you have your across index and down index. So what that is basically saying, at the moment that's 0, 1, which is this one, which is 0 across and 1 down. So if we wanted the blue flower, for example, it will be 1 across and 1 down. So we can do that, and you can just pick the one you want. So if we go back to that one, and what we can do is let's go to the game mode and let's change the color. Let's change that to a solid color. Let's put an orange in there. Okay, go back to the shader. Okay, we can increase that cutoff a little bit, and let's scale that down a bit. Okay, what we can also do with this is you can create another layer, so you can have up to 4 layers. So let's create another splat layer. So you can see the splat layers as 1, so let's set that to 2, and on the second layer we'll do the same thing, but instead of having 0, 1, let's have the daisy, which is 1, 0. So if we go 1, 0, increase the density again, pops it in the middle. So let's bring down that scale. And what's amazing about this is that it's all done in one pass, but what you'll notice is it's not exactly always just a layer, because it randomly places them either on top or underneath the other objects. So as you can see, this one is underneath that layer 1, but this one's placed on top of that layer 1. And it's and you do it for all 4, and it's just done in one pass, so it means it's really quick, and it's ideal for mobile stuff as well. So you can keep going. Let's put a little bit of a blue tint on there. Okay, if you want normal maps, you've got normal map support. You can drag in the normal map. Yeah. Okay. So that would be great for little 2D applications. So let's go to something that maybe we want to do in 3D. Okay. So what about doing something in a 3D environment? So you can see here we've just got a tree on a piece of ground, and let's say we want to cover the ground with the flowers. Okay, so what we do is we take a copy of the ground. We can call that Splat Flowers, so we know what we're doing with it. Let's create a new material. Okay, and we'll assign that to the new ground. Okay, and as you can see, it's an exact duplicate, and it's right on top of it. But when we assign the shader to it, what's great about it is it will always render it on top, so you'll never get the flickering. Okay, so we use the same image. Okay, so we're using alpha cutout. Again, we need to set the across and down because it's a 2x2. So we'll set that as a 2x2. We also need to increase the density and also the alpha cutout. There we go. So let's knock that scale down to about 20. Okay. And let's just remove the density of it. Okay, now we've applied the specular version this time, so let's add our normal map, and let's also add our specular map or gloss map. Okay, so you can see we can now cover the field in flowers. So let's add another splat layer. So let's knock that up to 2, and this time let's set that to 20 as well, and this time let's put that density up. Yep, we can use daisies. Oh, we should use the blue flower. Okay, so again let's play around with the scaling. Remove some of the density. Okay, so now we've got some flowers on top of there. What we can do, let's say we wanted to just have it in a certain place. So let's say I wanted to write my name on the field. What we can do is we can add a stencil. Okay, so we get a stencil, and we're going to use this Rob one. So anywhere it's just a black and white image. So anywhere there's white, it will put the stencils. It will put the flowers down. And anywhere it's black, it won't. So there you go. So if you wanted to see it better and place it better, you can click this development mode, and it will turn it sort of like a mauve. And so for the stencil, you can obviously move. Oh, sorry, that's the splat tiling. So this is the stencil tiling. So you can stretch the UVs if you want to, or you can use the offset. So let's just move it down slightly. Okay. Maybe what we want to do is we want more flowers in there, so we can, if you want to, increase. You can increase the splat layers like that. Let's turn develop mode off now. We're in the right place, and we can up the scales. For those. Okay, so now you've got Rob written down there in the flowers. You could add another layer, say a third layer. Density right up. Let's use the let's just use that dandelion. Okay, here's another example. What I've done is I've wanted the effect of fallen leaves just around the tree, so I've created, basically it's as like the other one. I've got the stencil. You can see the developer mode. The stencil is just black and white shape placed under the tree, and the leaves, I've got I'm using this texture for the leaves, and I've used them as a grayscale, so I can then use the tints to give some sort of autumn colours. So I've just got leaves around the tree. Okay, so if you like it, please hit like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.